Nope, filmmaker Jordan Peele calls the movie a spectacle and the great American UFO story. Part of the brilliance of a Jordan Peele project is the mystery that surrounds each film prior to its theatrical release. The trailers are masterfully cut to show audiences just enough to cause intrigue, and with each new trailer, more layers are peeled away to reveal even more questions. In an interview with Fandango, stars Keke Palmer, Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya, Oscar nominee Steven Yeun, and Brandon Perea join Peele, Oscar-winning director and writer, to discuss the creation of Nope and what audiences can expect to take away. In the interview with Fandango's Jacqueline Coley, the cast of Nope got together to talk about the experience of working with Peele, and about what Peele's intentions were going into his third film. With the release of a behind-the-scenes featurette by Universal earlier this month, the crew explained some of the more technical aspects of production, including that it was filmed on 65mm and IMAX, and from the trailers released we see a massive, sleek UFO. According to Peele, the intention behind his third film was, at its core, to be a spectacle. He wanted Nope to be visually striking, and for the sheer magnitude of IMAX to be a necessity to the plot. He said, well, you know, I wrote it in a time when we were a little bit worried about the future of cinema. So the first thing I knew is I wanted to create a spectacle. I wanted to create something that the audience would have to come see. As far as the storyline, Peele has tackled multi-layered themes in his movies, from the suppression and marginalization of black people to holding a mirror up to society in us and saying, hey, maybe you're the bad guy this time. Since his first film, Get Out, Peele has employed the use of the horror genre to convey his messages, and says of Nope, it's a horror epic, but it has some points in it that are meant to elicit a very audible reaction in the theater. In the interview, Palmer mentions that Peele uses a sort of commercial aspect to his movies to reel the audiences in and fill the seats to then hit them with the unexpected. In this case, Peele described Nope as the great American UFO story, and said that it deals with spectacle and the good and bad that come from this idea of attention. When asked what fans could expect from Nope, Perea said, "Just something different, something totally new. I think Jordan's changed cinema already, he's gonna do it again." They gave him an opportunity to do something on a massive scale. He's operating at the highest level, so it's insane that you're giving this auteur director this type of platform to really speak and tell story, and to do it from his style with this type of spectacle. It's gonna blow people's minds. Peele has a propensity for storytelling, so fans can go in expecting to take away something deeper than an action-packed alien invasion horror. That's just the bonus. When discussing the use of horror, Yeun said, in those genre setups it's easy to maybe rely on the tropes, but really I think we are all looking for something deeply human. And that's what makes it unsettling. What makes a horror movie unsettling and memorable is the humanity of the characters, and Peele spoke on the way he wrote each one for Nope, starting by knowing who he wanted in the film to begin with. After reaching out to the actors, Peele would write and form the characters with their input on how they would react to specific situations. Palmer said, I was shocked because of all of the different archetypes he was able to put in each character, allowing her to portray a character of depth rather than, like Yeun said, a trope. For Jordan Peele films, the craft doesn't end with production. The magic in the speculation surrounding each sneak peek paves the way to its theatrical release date. According to Perea, Nope is way different than anything he's ever done. All will be revealed when Nope hits theaters on July 22nd. Pathaan poster reveals Shah Rukh Khan's rugged comeback film. Yash Raj Films has debuted the first poster for Shah Rukh Khan's grand comeback vehicle, Pathaan. The poster release coincided with the star's 30th anniversary in films. He made his big screen debut with 1992's Deewana, after having established himself on television with the hit show 4G. Khan, who is popularly known as SRK, is perhaps among the world's biggest movie stars, with a fan base that extends beyond India's estimated 1.4 billion population and across South Asian communities around the globe. He's also a part of Bollywood's last remaining generation of old-school stars, alongside Salman Khan and Aamir Khan. Each of them, in recent years, has experienced major career setbacks. SRK's last film was the ambitious Misfire Zero, directed by Anand L. Rai. A visual effects-heavy comedy drama, the film tanked so badly that it forced Khan to go into a self-imposed acting sabbatical. By the time Pathaan is eventually released, over 4 years will have passed since Khan's last big-screen appearance, the longest gap between films in his 3-decade career. The new poster unveiled his gritty look as the titular Pathaan, presumably a code name of some sort, and came in 4 versions, each bearing the title in different languages: Hindi, English, Tamil and Telugu. The film itself will be released in Tamil and Telugu in addition to the original Hindi, a strategy that is quickly becoming common for big Bollywood films as they try to make inroads into South Indian markets. In recent years, it has been observed that films from the south of the country have been doing exceedingly well, not just in the north, but also, like RRR, around the world. Pathaan was announced earlier this year with a special video that also featured stars Deepika Padukone and John Abraham, but didn't properly reveal Khan's character. The new poster shows him wearing a white shirt and heavy boots. His bearded face appears cut up, as he leans on a shotgun. While this hasn't been confirmed, Pathaan is supposedly the 4th installment in YRF's planned shared universe of spy films, which began with Ek the Tiger and its immediate sequel, Tigers in the High. Both films starred Salman, who is currently filming the 3rd installment in the franchise. Salman previously confirmed that he'd filmed a cameo for Pathaan, and that SRK had done likewise for the tentatively titled Tiger 3. It's also worth noting that Pathaan is directed by Siddharth Anand, whose blockbuster War, starring Hrithik Roshan and Tiger Shroff, will also be retrofitted into the YRF spy universe, if it actually ends up panning out. SRK's comeback year also includes the mysterious action film Jawan, directed by Atlee and slated for a June release, then Donkey, directed by hitmaker Rajkumar Hirani and scheduled to be released in theaters around Christmas time. Pathaan is the first out of the gate, and has been locked for January 25, 2023 release. Elvis composer blended Austin Butler's and Elvis Presley's vocals together. In Baz Luhrmann's box office biopic epic Elvis, the aesthetic is key, the enormity of the scale is a must, but the sound is the soul. In a film dedicated to the life of a cultural king whose legacy is his rich voice and iconic appearance, so much of the film's integrity is riding on the way these factors are presented. Once again enlisting the talents of composer Elliot Wheeler and music editor Jamieson Shaw, Luhrmann opted to present Elvis Presley's music in a more authentic way by utilizing both the original tracks and actor Austin Butler's own vocal talents. Recently, the actor and granddaughter of Presley, Riley Keough, shared a clip of Butler performing Presley's "That's Alright." In the clip, Butler looks like a natural strumming his guitar and tapping his foot, and fans may be hard-pressed to determine whether Butler's croons are the product of lip-syncing or his own vocals. However, when discussing how the recordings for the film were tackled, according to Wheeler, Butler personally performed each line of every performance audiences see on screen. Instead of lip-syncing, what he and Shaw did was essentially enhance Butler's versions by splicing in Presley's recordings where necessary. To keep the authenticity of Presley on stage, Wheeler said, "We ended up slicing parts of Austin's performance. We used a lot of the breaths, grunts, and body movements that are Austin, and we'd switch back to Elvis." The portrayal of Presley on Butler's part, which earned him the longest standing ovation at the Cannes Festival this year, took a lot out of him. In an interview with Collider Steve Weintraub, Butler spoke on how long after filming Wrapped it took him to find himself again after his transformative performance as the king of rock and roll. For the first half of the film, the vocals that audiences hear are primarily all Butler, belting out tune after tune of cultural classics, while maintaining Presley's iconic snarling lip and light-footed movements. That is, up until 68, when Wheeler says, everything after that was Elvis, and that was partly to do with the fidelity of the stems, the stereo recordings sourced from mixes of multiple individual tracks, such as drums, vocals, and bass. In this case, we were using vocal stems. He explained that due to the quality of the later tracks, they were able to use more of Presley's original recordings by working with movement coach Polly Bennett. Together they assessed the way Presley's movements affected each breath, and Grant then applied it to Butler's movements. As far as the score and the blending of the music, Shaw and Wheeler were tasked with storytelling through Presley's musical influences. Lehman reportedly spoke with a close friend of Presley's from when he was young, Sam Bell, who helped the crew piece together the styles that became the amalgamation of what Presley eventually came to be known for. Some influences include gospel from when he'd attend Pentecostal services and blues from juke joints, which inspired the number performed by Gary Clark Jr. A chef, Buzz Arthur a big boy, crewed up in the film. Other featured artists include blues singer-songwriter B.B. King, played by Calvin Harrison Jr., country music artist Hank Snow, played by David Wenham, gospel singer and guitarist Sister Rosetta Tharpe, played by Yola, and more. Though the film is receiving mixed reviews, the effort put into bringing authenticity to Presley's image and legacy is unmistakable. All the musical artistry in the film culminates into this big orchestral moment when Elvis walks onto the stage. The result is a dazzling 6-minute arrangement, and Wheeler says that scene had all the elements of both bringing a new contemporary artist's score, the Pentecostal and the traditional Elvis recordings, together. Elvis is out now in theaters. Escape the Field gets Blu-ray and DVD release date this June. Escape the Field, a corny new thriller from Lionsgate, has finally arrived on Blu-ray and DVD today, June 21, 2022. The film was released to theaters and on demand this May, with Blu-ray copy arriving this June. Escape the Field tells the story of 6 strangers who wake up to find themselves in a remote and endless cornfield. Each character wakes up to find themselves alone in a sea of corn, stripped of their worldly possessions and given one of 6 items: a gun with a single bullet, a lantern, matches, a knife, a compass, and a flask of water. Mysterious sirens blare from some distant and unknown source, and traps appear throughout the thick of the field. Soon the group will find that they are caught in some twisted game, being hunted by an unseen force of pure evil. And their survival will depend on them solving a deadly puzzle. Escape the Field is one of a growing number of corn-based thrillers, television episodes, and horror films. From taking center stage in a Goosebumps episode to Stephen King's classic Children of the Corn, and that one scene from Jeepers Creepers 2, you know the one, the creepy scarecrow running through corn, it seems the stocky crop has some solid horror bona fides. Escape the Field is only the latest in a rich and storied horror tradition. But it only leads one to wonder what makes corn so creepy. Maybe it's the Halloween tradition of corn mazes that sets one's spine a-tingle. Getting lost in a cornfield can be frightening and even dangerous. Then again, maybe it's a commentary on America's reliance on corn-based products and history of highly controversial corn subsidies on which these cornfield horrors are based. Who knows? The film stars Jordan Claire Robbins, Theo Rassi, Tahira Sharif, Julian Feder, Elena Juotko, and Shane West. The film was directed by Emerson Moore, who also wrote Escape the Field with Joshua Dobkin and Sean Wathan. Moore also produces the film alongside Andrew Davis Gans, Michael Phillip, and Jason Morin. The Blu-ray and DVD release, which arrived on June 21st, includes special features such as audio commentary by director Emerson Moore along with writers Joshua Dobkin and Sean Wathan, as well as pieces of the puzzle making Escape the Field featurette. You can purchase the film today. Just get ready to plunge yourself into one heck of a maze.